Hey everyone, it's been a while, but we're back with something really awesome. This huge grenade launcher from Honkai Star Rail. Take into account that this gun is a lot of work, and if you have no experience building cosplay weapons yet, it might be a bit overwhelming. So you might want to start with something a little bit easier, like one of these other weapon tutorials. Now let's get started. Alright, I've made a giant template which you can find in the description. Print it out and we're good to go. Now where do you start when making such a huge prop? When building a big prop like this, it's easiest to break it down into sections. We're talking back, middle and front. To make sure this gun isn't going to bend like crazy, we are using a 40mm PVC pipe as a core. Trust me, you don't want to skip this. The first step is making the base of the gun. This is the framework of the gun without all the details. I'm not going to show everything in detail for this, since how the base looks doesn't really matter. Most of it won't be visible anyways, so make it any way you like. I always try to use the least amount of foam possible, so making big parts hollow is certainly a good idea. This will reduce the overall weight of the weapon and save on materials. The most important thing about the base are the proportions, so keep your template close and try to follow the measurements. Now watch as I struggle to build this base, or you can skip to the part where I talk about the details. Once your base is built, it's time to add all the cool stuff. Let's break it down piece by piece. The backside. This is a simple piece of 10mm EVA foam. Hit it with the Dremel to make some cool angles and that's it. The bullets. These are made from 40mm EVA foam dowels with rounded tops and a 5mm foam layer around the bottom half. There are 4, but you gotta make them different sizes to fit them all in. The circular details. The gun has a bunch of these, mostly made from 10mm EVA foam with rounded edges and some cool cutouts or Dremel work. You can also use heat to make some of these details. The trigger. 3 layers of 10mm EVA foam. Round the edges and add some detail with a Dremel. The handle decoration. The easiest way to make this is draw the shapes onto the base and use that as a template to cut out the foam pieces. The wood plating. Use 5mm foam for the bottom layer and 2mm foam for the top parts. The top part is fully glued to the other parts, while the bottom one isn't. This explains the difference in thickness. You could use 5mm foam for both pieces, but it's not necessary. You can also add some wood details in it by cutting the foam or using heat. The bullet chambers. This part you will need to make 7 times. I made them hollow on the inside without using a core, so mine are very squishy. It's basically just a cylinder made from 5mm EVA foam. On the bottom I glued 2 round pieces of 10mm EVA foam of different sizes. On the back I also created a circular detail. You can do this by using heat or by cutting it into the foam. On the front I glued a small round piece of 5mm EVA foam with a sloped edge. And lastly a 2mm EVA foam strip around the cylinder. The optical side. Take the foam dowel, cut off the bottom and glue a small circle on the front. The side covers. Use 10mm foam and cut them a little bigger than the template because the template is a side view and these parts are on an angle. Add a cut in the rear that doesn't go all the way through the foam for some cool extra detail. The top handle. I highly recommend using high density EVA foam pieces for the top handle. This way it's also functional and won't tear off. I use 10mm EVA foam and some foam dowels. Don't forget to add some nice screws to it. The barrel details. Another layer of 10mm foam goes on the back with a 45° angled front. Finish it off with some 5mm foam details and slot holes. The inside of the barrel. Here's where things get a little tricky. Start with a circle made from 10mm EVA foam that fits inside the barrel we just made, and cut a hole into it. Then cut a strip from 10mm foam that also fits inside the barrel. Make 8 evenly spaced cuts into the strip, then Dremel those cuts round. Glue the ends of the strip together and to the circle to create the barrel grooves. The tactical rail. 3 layers of 10mm foam glued together, easy peasy. The front block. 4 layers of 10mm foam with glued on circular details, which we made earlier. The front side. 2 10mm foam pieces glued together and angled with a Dremel. And another side. 2 pieces of 5mm foam, high density for extra sturdiness. A steel rod with 2mm foam glued around it goes in the middle for support. The wooden handle on the front. 4 layers of 10mm foam Dremeled into a comfortable grip shape. As with the wooden plating, you can also add some details by cutting the foam or using heat. Now for the fun part, gluing everything together. I mostly use contact cement, but hot glue can be helpful in hidden areas for extra reinforcement. Once everything's glued, take a moment to compare your creation to a reference image. Are you satisfied, or would you like to add some other details? I left out a few details in this build due to time constraints and missing materials. These include some foam dowel rods and the top handle trigger. There wasn't a lot of time for painting before AnimeCon, so my paint job is a bit rough. Especially the wooden parts, which ideally would be painted with more care. But hey, it still looks great. If you are going to build this gun, we would love to see it. Tag us on Instagram, leave a comment below or send us a picture via email. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks for joining this build tutorial and see you in the next one.